Hi kids, this is Mrs. Gardner, your art teacher, and I'm going to do a little review on 3-point perspective. So keep in mind, for 1-point perspective, we're using this block, 3-dimensional block as an example, would be an object that's kind of facing you, okay, kind of flat looking. And then for 2-point perspective, it'd be an object that is kind of turned with the corner closest to you, where you see the sets of parallel lines going off or converging far, far away at 2 separate points. And then the 3-point that we're going to do today, or review today, would be when you have an object, like a building, let's say, and you're really, really, really close to it, either looking up, like this would be an example of a worm's eye view, where it looks like the top is just shrinking, you're looking up and seeing underneath. And if I take the same object and turn it, this is an example of bird's eye view, where I see the tops of the object and very exaggerated. It looks like it's kind of shrinking as it goes down. Okay, so that's what we're going to go for today. And to show you a couple images, here's the first one we did the other day. Again, worm's eye view looking up. Notice that the third vanishing point is far, far away, and there aren't any real true verticals. Even though it looks like there's a vertical, it would really be more like, it just visually looks like that. It's either leaning in or leaning towards you that way. And then if I turn this upside down, it's constructed the same way, but this would be the bird's eye view. So this is a very simple block that's been trapped using a ruler, one vanishing point on the left, and a VP2, we'll call it, on the right, and then that third extra one either high or low, okay? And then here is what we did the other day, where we were just throwing in some extra objects, just like if you were doing a city block with maybe skyscrapers, things like that. So today I found one that was similar, yet a little bit different and challenging. It had a little open window. I thought that would be a neat one to kind of review that you could try at home. So, as usual, I'm still going to need to have a vanishing point. So let's see. I'm sorry, I mean a horizon line. And I'm trying to get this so it visually looks nice and parallel to the other horizontal edges of the paper. And I'm going to go ahead and put a vanishing point. I'll just put a little precise point on the left. I'll put VP1 in case I refer to it. And then right here, VP2, so we can find it. And then I'm just kind of visually find like down the center and where you'll see it. You can take it off the page, but that wouldn't be very helpful for us. So I'm going to put VP3, vanishing point, okay? And then I'm going to just kind of create a box. I'm going to trap it right here inside. Anything that goes outside of this zone will be extremely distorted, exaggerated, maybe not as believable. Now I'll go ahead and make what looks like a vertical. And let's see, I'll just make it right here, okay, where you can see it. But really it's going to be leaning in at us. And then I'm going to take the bottom of that segment, that vertical segment. I'm going to take my ruler, let it kind of guide me to the VP1, vanishing point 1, and I'm going to, and I'll kind of lighten up a little bit so you can kind of see it, but here's the part I'm going to be keeping. And I'm going to go ahead and flip to the other side. Make sure my pencil point really hits right on that corner there. Make sure my pencil will also really hit the vanishing point pretty precisely. There's the bottom. And I'm going to let it kind of just, flare off a little bit there. I may not use all those construction lines. And I'm going to also go ahead and create a wall. I think I'll make this a little taller so you can see it better. Yeah, that's better. I'm going to go to the top of that vertical segment, match it up to the vanishing point. I'm really lightening up my construction lines that converge to the finishing points a lot, because I'm really not going to use every bit of this. I just want you to see a little bit of it. And then I'm going to create a left wall. Let's see, I think I will, I have to come from this vanishing point, of course. I'm going to lean it out. I think about right there. Bottom of that shape to the top and then stop. And then I'm going to pivot. I'll make a shorter, less depth over here. Shorter wall. Okay, you can probably see the front walls. And then I'm going to take my back corners and I'm going to go to the opposite vanishing points. Okay. Now once I construct this, we'll take a look at it. Going to the farthest away. I'm not going to use all that. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and box it in. Looks like I need a little bit more. Sometimes that's why I draw a little further out. So I can't exactly anticipate. There it is. There's that back corner right there. Now, I'll go ahead and I'll leave a little bit of a crisscross where the intersection is so you can kind of see how it's constructed. But I won't really need all those. I'll go ahead and put this one back in there. As you do more, you'll figure out what lines you're really going to need or what you're going to get rid of. Okay, and let's see. I could actually, if I want to jut this out like it's going to pop up a little bit, I could do more. Oops, start at the vanishing point, pivot out, and let's just say I'm going to come across here. This is the front corner. Stop right there. You'll see what I'm going to do with this in a sec. This is my front corner. I'll go ahead and stop when I hit this back line. I'm just kind of building as I go. Kind of boxing in areas. If I'm not sure how much I need, I'll go ahead and just draw a little further out. Here is a bottom corner of a wall. Take that and stop when I hit. So you might be able to kind of see I'm actually constructing a little bit of an extra wall here. You just have to find your corners, find your vanishing point. I'm going to make this wall come up more. It's basically a box on top of a box that I just kind of created an extra little box there. This is the back corner. I'll make that a little darker. And then, so here's a small box on top of the big box. It's kind of like if you had a skyscraper and you wanted it to look like it had an extra section on top. Or this could become anything you want it to be. It doesn't have to be a skyscraper. Okay, so it's almost like invisible boxes. A box on top of a box. And let's see what, oh yeah. And I want to go ahead and put a window in here. So I'm going to need my, oops, I always kind of like to go there. Vanishing point 3 down here. Remember, that's where we're coming from here. And I'm going to just decide, let's say the side of the wall of that window opening is going to be there. And then I'm going to go ahead and pivot my ruler and decide how far over I want that opening to go. I don't know exactly where the top and bottom is going to be, but that's okay. I'll box it in. And I'm going to go for my, since this is a left wall, I'm going to my left-hand vanishing point, line it up and pivot. Let's say I want to go ahead and make this the bottom. Notice it's parallel to the other sets of really what would be horizontal lines. And I'm going to pivot off this vanishing point 1 and chop it off right there. Okay, So now I'll go ahead and take this out because it might look a little confusing having an extra overhang there. So there's like a window. I'm going to make it empty it out. So I'm going to go to vanishing point 2, pivot until my ruler finds this little corner. I'm not matching up to the opposite corner. I'm letting the ruler show me and stop when I hit something. The idea is that I now have a window I could kind of reach through if I wanted to. Now I left that kind of invisible, but you could always come back. You could always get rid of some of the extra lines that may look a little bit much. And maybe you'll be able to see the structure kind of put together here. I just lightened them up. You could probably see it a little bit better now though. And imagine what you could do if you wanted to shade. Follow the surface that you're doing. Like this is kind of a vertical surface, but remember, no true verticals. Right. And I'm going to show you what I was going by as a guide. Really helpful. Trying to simulate this in my own way. They left a lot more of their construction lines showing, but they all come from somewhere. So notice you really have to use that third vanishing point. Okay, and I'm going to stop right there. Thank you.